I wrote a book. I wrote a book. I wrote without a choice. Hello, book amigos, and welcome back to a brand new video. For those of you who are new, I am Gray, and I hope you stick around for a while. You can always hit the subscribe button and join the Book Amigos world. So, today's video is going to be about my debut novel, Without a Choice. Quickly, I am going to read the blurb for you guys. We've all heard the story of someone who chased and achieved their dreams, but have you ever heard the story of someone whose dreams were shattered from the moment they were born? My debut novel, Without a Choice, follows the story of Tori, a 22-year-old born in Cuspala, Zacatecas, Mexico. Tori's dreams were revoked when her parents decided to bring her to the United States of America as an infant. She grew up believing that she was a citizen of the land of the free and the home of the brave. The political climate of 2015 forced her parents to tell her that she was in fact an alien to this country. Around this time, she was wrongfully accused of an incident that happened at work, which led to her deportation. In Cuspala, Zacatecas, she was met with culture shock and many obstacles. Her world once again came crashing down as her lawyer abandoned her. She had to navigate through an identity crisis, a homophobic environment, a toxic family, but most importantly, she had to find a way back to the place she called her home. Will she overcome all the obstacles? Will she make it back home? Will she finally have a choice or continue on a path without one? All right, so now that we've read the blurb and you guys have an idea of what Without a Choice is about, I want to tell you guys the story of how Without a Choice came to be. So, Without a Choice was an idea that came to be back in 2015, 2016-ish. I don't really remember. But it was my first attempt, or one of the first attempts at NaNoWriMo. Now, I went into this blindly. I just jumped into writing on November 1st, and I just ran with it. I did not know what I was doing. I was completely and entirely clueless, but I did it anyway. Fast forward, I graduated university in 2016, and after that, I was feeling a little bit lost, and I felt defeated because I didn't know what was next for me. I received a bachelor's in both psychology and Spanish, but I wasn't sure that I wanted to pursue that. So I spent a lot of my free time writing, and one day, my best friend said, "Hey, why don't you pursue writing?" And I said, "I don't think I'm good." She read my work, and she said, I think you got this." So I went for it. I said, "You know what? Maybe you're right." And I went for it. I called up a school and I asked about a master's program in creative writing. I was told you need a portfolio and you need to choose your main focus, being nonfiction, fiction, poetry, screenwriting, whatever. But I had to choose one main focus and a sub-focus. I chose fiction and poetry. And needless to say that the portfolio, she was like, "Hey, I'll give you, I don't know, how much time do you need?" And I said, "Well, I can get the portfolio to you by the end of the day." So within 24 hours, I was accepted into a master's program in creative writing, which was crazy. I did not know what I was getting myself into. I enrolled for the first few classes and come to find out I needed to write a thesis, and I needed to decide if I wanted to do my thesis in fiction or poetry. I chose fiction. And I dusted Without a Choice, which actually, its initial title that I was running with was Estranged. Crazy how things change. It was hard. I wasn't sure that I can do this, but the more I wrote, the more I liked it, the more I fell in love with the story, and also the more fear began to creep up because I knew I was touching hard topics. So, Without a Choice touches upon these following tropes right here. And those tropes are some of those tropes are very taboo. I decided that I wanted to touch upon the tropes of mental health, I wanted to talk about LGBTQ plus. I wanted to talk about culture shock. I wanted to talk about all these things because I wanted to shine a light on these topics. A few years ago, several years ago, back in 2009, I lost a friend of mine, Monique, to suicide. That was the first time I encountered suicide. And I am a little bit embarrassed to admit, but honestly, I didn't even know what suicide meant. It was such a taboo that I didn't know what it meant. That was a hard pill to swallow. Fast forward to 2018, I lost a second friend to suicide. And I decided right then and there that I wouldn't let their deaths be in vain. I wrote Without a Choice as a dedication to both of them because their voices were supposed to be heard. They are supposed to be here today, and they are not. And I want Without a Choice to start a conversation, to open the doors, because we live in 2025 and these topics shouldn't be taboo. These topics should be topics that we can talk about on a day-to-day basis. And that's why I wrote Without a Choice. I wrote Without a Choice because it was a story that was supposed to be told. Now, going back to the thesis, I finished the thesis in 2020. I graduated with my master's in creative writing. My professor said, "This is fantastic. I love it. You should consider publishing it." And I said, "You're right, but we're in the middle of a pandemic, so maybe I'll revisit it some other time." I graduated and I put Without a Choice in a drawer and I let it collect dust. Fast forward to 2023, November 2023, I decided I am going to dabble into nano again. And I picked up Without a Choice and I dusted it and I started the editing process. It was a great process. I am here to say I did everything by myself. I did all the edits. I did line edits. I did developmental edits. I did plot edits. I did character edits. I did a whole lot. And through that process, a lot in this book changed. A lot, including the names of the characters. I would have to go back and look into the first draft to let you know what the names used to be, but everything came together as I started editing. As an indie author, I made my own book cover. I don't know if it's frowned upon or not, but I did use Canva and I did use the scorpions. I formatted. I did everything by myself. And it was a hard road to navigate. Every single time I read Without a Choice, it took me through a whirlwind. I cried every single time. I think I have read Without a Choice, honestly, I would say about 8 to 10 times, because that's how much I poured my heart and soul into Without a Choice. Without a Choice it's my baby. It's my baby, and it might be a little self-centered, a little conceited, I don't know, to say that I believe Without a Choice is meant to change lives, because I really, really wrote this book with the intention of starting a conversation. I really did. And I really hope that happens. And so far, the feedback that I have received for Without a Choice is exactly that. And that makes me so proud because, again, I wrote this book in memory of two friends who decided they weren't good enough for this world. And I want you behind the camera, to either think about yourself or think about somebody and say they deserve to be on this world, on this planet, in this world. I deserve to be here. I deserve to have my story told. And that is the goal here. Now, we live in a world where there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of things that we don't necessarily understand. We don't understand why they're happening, and it's very easy to feel targeted. So now more than ever, it's important to start those conversations. Without a Choice is the book that I wrote because I want to put a little seed in the planet Earth and start growing a beautiful tree. Now, the path to get here was not easy. I am a person who has a lot of self-doubt, and I overthink everything, second guess everything. And I was fearful for Without a Choice, because I didn't think I was good enough at this. And that's a bummer. It's unfortunate. But even with Without a Choice, I share a little bit of my life. I too was encountered, I suppose. I too encountered, I don't even know how to speak. See, this is making me second guess this whole thing and making me want to start all over, but I'm not. I'm going to push right through it. I myself have sought suicide, unfortunately, and it was very dark and it was very alone, but I'm here today. And that is also why I wanted to write this, because unlike my friends, I'm here to tell this story. I'm here to make a difference. And I know that sounds kind of weird to say, but I know deep down in my heart, because my intentions for Without a Choice are pure and honest, I really, really believe that it is capable of changing. It is capable of starting conversations. It is capable of having somebody ask for help if needed. So, with that being said, Without a Choice, I don't even know what to say. That is really, Without a Choice, I mean, it's my baby. It's my baby. And I really, really, I don't even know. It's surreal to me that I have this book. But I think it's a good idea to perhaps read the prologue for you guys and give you a little snippet of Without a Choice, if that is okay. So, let me see. Yeah, it's about 2 pages, so I'm going to attempt to read this to you, just because I get a little shy when it comes to reading. But I'm going to share the prologue. Hopefully it convinces you a little bit to want to pick it up. So, here goes nothing. I ran into the lunchroom and locked the door behind me. I couldn't believe what happened, only because this was a male-dominated work environment. They felt entitled to take advantage of any woman who tried to level up, but with me, they messed with the wrong girl. I immediately took my phone out and called Crystal. Hey, I need your help. Something bad happened a few minutes ago, and I don't know what to do. Crystal and I had known each other since childhood. We had similar upbringings, which allowed us to form a bond that developed into extreme protectiveness for one another, or at least that's what we called it. Tori, hey, calm down. What's going on? Crystal said. This effer just tried to make a move on me. He thought I would concede to his demand, but it backfired. I was raging and speaking without context. I can't hold this. Hold on. I don't understand. Please slow down. Talk to me and give me context. Who is the effer? She asked. I took a deep breath and exhaled loudly, hoping to stabilize my fear. I've told you before that my work is male-dominated, right? Well, today I joined a new project. It was a group collaboration. To my surprise, I was the only female in a group of 6. During the group meeting, everyone had an assignment to complete except me. I asked Rudy what my task was, and all he did was look me in the eyes and share a smile that did not sit well with me. He threw a stack of papers on the table and walked towards me. With my anxiety rising, I stepped back to maintain a reasonable gap between us. He said I had to do what he said or I would get kicked off the team. I stopped as anger rushed through my entire being. My palms were sweaty and the adrenaline was wearing off. Inhale, exhale. Tori, keep talking. What happened next? What did he want you to do? Are you okay? Crystal's tone meant business. He pulled me in and whispered that I had to do a favor for him. In exchange, I'd get to stay in the group. The doorknob rattled. "Who is it?" I called, but no one responded. "Who was that?" Crystal asked. "Someone tried to open the door, but they seemed to have left." I leaned against the door in case whoever that was came back and tried to open it again. "What kind of favor?" Crystal asked. "Seriously, Crystal?" I rolled my eyes. "He wanted a sexual favor." I obviously denied. My stomach turned upside down. I said no, pushed him off, and ran out. "What the actual F? You have to do something about it. Go talk to Manny or Human Resources and tell them exactly what happened. Do it now," Crystal ordered. I walked out of the lunchroom and was determined to go to Human Resources and tell them exactly what had happened. Like most people, I spent a lot of my free time scrolling through social media and learned there were a lot of backlashes happening when it came to these kinds of situations, especially with the Me Too movement that was happening. I was scared that speaking up would come back and bite me in the ass I lost my spot. I was scared that speaking up would come back and bite me in the ass, as it had for many women and men who shared their stories. I couldn't subject myself to let this happen again. On my way to Human Resources, I saw Rudy in the hallway and tried to dodge him. "Tori, where are you going?" He stopped me in my tracks. After the way he approached me in front of 5 other guys, I did not know what this guy was capable of. My face was flushed and my body was paralyzed. There was no point in yelling for help when earlier 5 bystanders in our vicinity turned out to be useless. "I'm going," I stuttered. I tried to calm my anxiety. I took a deep breath and tried again. I'm going to finish some things that need to be finished." "That's where I thought you were going, darling. To finish your work." Rudy ran the back of his fingers down my arm. My adrenaline was picking up, but I remained focused. I pulled away and left. I walked into the main office. I opted to talk directly to Manny instead of Human Resources to let him know what had happened. To my surprise, he was of the same breed. That is the prologue for Without a Choice. So, I think I rambled quite a bit, but if Without a Choice sparked an interest, I hope you will pick yourself up a copy of Without a Choice. It's available on Amazon, and I'm gonna link that down below for you. If you have any questions about Without a Choice, please drop them down, and I will do my best to answer them in the future. And yeah, thank you for letting me do this video. I hope I did a good job, because once I start talking about Without a Choice, I feel like I just ramble on and on and on and on, and I lose track of what I'm talking about. So for that reason, I ask, if you have questions about Without a Choice, please drop them down in the comments section. And again, I hope it sparks some interest, and I hope you watching this decides to give Without a Choice a chance. And yeah, I'm super nervous about this video, and I don't know why. Hopefully it came out good. Hopefully it translated. If you're watching this, that means it came out good. But until next time, oh wait, no, please, I'm so nervous. I don't know what's happening. Please, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below, do all the things that the YouTube asks you to do. And until next time, Book Amigos, toodles! Me and my baby.